How did one cruel sentence about my ex turn into me getting served in my office lobby in front of coworkers? I thought my husband was trying to scare me with silence and distance. Then the papers said the rules start today, and everyone could see my name. My name was Avice Larkin, and I was 34. I managed a dental office. People like to call me organized, and I liked that word because it sounded clean. I told myself I kept things together. If something fell apart, I said it was because someone else did not follow my plan. Ethan was my husband. He was 36. He worked with computers and rules, the kind of job where you had to be careful. He was not loud. He was not dramatic. When he walked into a room, he did not try to own it. That used to feel safe. Later, it felt like he was refusing to fight for me. That morning, the kitchen smelled like toast and dish soap. Noah sat at the table with his small cereal bowl. He tapped his spoon and watched us like he was reading faces more than words. Ethan asked if I had slept at all because he heard me moving at night. I said I was fine and that he always worried too much. He asked if my phone was charging in the living room because it kept buzzing. I said the clinic group chat was busy and that he should not act like a guard. He looked at my face for a second, like he wanted to say more. Then he stopped. He asked what time I would be home. I said I had a lot to do. I made my voice light, like it was normal. Noah asked if we could go to the park after school. Ethan said yes, if homework was done. I said I might be late, because the office was short-staffed. Ethan nodded, but his jaw got tight in a way I noticed. I told myself he was trying to make me feel guilty. I decided I would not let him. On the drive to work, I played the same thought again and again. I told myself I had needs. I told myself Ethan did not listen. I said I had carried the home, the child, the calendar, the bills, the feelings. I said he just showed up like a calm rock and expected me to be thankful. A calm rock did not hug you back, I thought. A calm rock did not make you feel chosen. At the clinic, the lights were too white and the air smelled like mint paste. The waiting room was full, and I liked that. Busy meant important. Busy meant people needed me. In the break room, Dahlia Wren poured coffee and leaned against the counter like she owned it. She asked why I looked happy and tired at the same time. I said I was just finally doing things for myself. She smiled like she understood a secret. Tanya, the front desk lead, walked in and asked if we had enough gloves. I said yes, and I said it in a sharp voice without meaning to. Tanya looked down and left. I felt a small sting of shame, but I turned it into pride. I told myself leaders had to be firm. Dahlia asked if Ethan was still being cold. I said he was worse, and I said it like a fact. I said he made everything about rules. I said he took my words too seriously. I did not say I had been hiding things. I did not say I liked the hiding. When you hide something, you hold power. I told myself that was only fair. My phone lit up with a message from a name saved as a simple letter. Just B. It was Brandon Keene. The screen preview asked if I was free later. My stomach lifted like I had swallowed warm air. I put the phone face down fast, even though I was alone with Dahlia. Dahlia asked who was texting me. I said it was a patient complaint. She laughed and said I should let Ethan sweat a little. I nodded like it was a joke. Inside, I liked hearing someone say Ethan should feel nervous. It made me feel right. During lunch, I sat at my desk with my salad and stared at the clinic schedule. My computer showed rows and times and names. Everything looked controlled on the screen. I liked that too. Real life did not stay in rows. Ethan texted and asked if I could confirm pickup time for Noah's after-school program. I waited before I answered, just to remind him that I was busy. Then I replied with a simple time. He wrote, "Thanks." No heart, no extra words. I told myself he was punishing me with short messages. I told myself he was trying to train me like a dog. But another part of me knew he was simply being calm, and I hated that. Calm did not give me anything to push against. After work, I told Tanya I had to do an errand, and I said it like it was normal. She asked if I needed anything covered for tomorrow. I said no. Her eyes stayed on my face a second longer than usual, like she was measuring me. I lifted my chin and walked out. I drove to the riverside promenade, where the air smelled like cold water and street food. People walked dogs and held hands. I liked this place because it felt like a movie scene. If I stood here, I could pretend I was the main character, not a wife with a child and a tired husband at home. Brandon met me near a bench. He wore a hoodie and a smile that always came too fast. He asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was making me feel unwanted. I said Ethan judged me. I said Ethan had stopped trying. I did not say I had stopped being kind. Brandon said I deserved to feel special. I let that sentence sink in like sugar. He asked if I missed him. I said it was complicated. I said I only wanted peace. I said I hated drama. That was a lie, but I believed it in the moment because it helped me. He asked if Ethan knew we were talking. I said Ethan was too busy being perfect to notice anything. I made it sound like Ethan's fault that I was there. I made it sound like I was trapped in a boring life and Brandon was a window. A couple walked past with a stroller, and I felt a small pinch in my chest. For 1 second, I pictured Noah seeing me here. I pushed the thought away. I told myself that being a good mother meant being a happy mother. I still think that line sounds smart, even now, but it was also a shield. When I got home, the house was quieter than I expected. Ethan was at the sink rinsing a plate. Noah was on the carpet with building blocks. The living room lamp was on, soft and warm. It looked like a normal family scene, and it made me angry because it did not match my story. Ethan asked if I had eaten. I said yes. He asked where I went after work. I said I did a quick walk to clear my head. He nodded slowly. Then he asked why my location showed me near the river for almost 2 hours. I felt heat rise in my face. I asked why he was tracking me. He said he was not tracking me. He said my phone and his tablet shared the same account, and it popped up by mistake. I said he was lying, because I needed to turn the fear into blame. He asked if I was meeting someone. I said he was paranoid. I said his jealousy was the real problem. I said it was exhausting to be married to a man who looked for problems instead of looking at himself. Noah looked up, eyes wide, and asked if we were mad. I smiled too fast and said we were fine. Ethan turned his face away from Noah and asked me to keep my voice low. I said he was always telling me what to do. That night, after Noah went to bed, Ethan asked if we could talk like adults. I said he never talked like adults. I said he always talked like a manager. He asked what I wanted from him. I said I wanted him to stop acting weak when I told the truth. He asked what truth meant. I looked at his face and felt a strange calm, like I was about to pull a pin from something. I thought about the dinner with friends we had planned. I thought about Dahlia laughing. I thought about Ethan's quiet eyes. I told myself I needed to shock him awake. I went to the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror, and practiced the words in my head like they were a fair lesson, not a weapon. I chose a family restaurant with bright lights and loud voices. I told myself it was neutral ground. I also knew it was a stage. If Ethan stayed calm there, I could call him cold. If he reacted, I could call him unstable. Either way, I would win the story. Dahlia arrived first and hugged me too hard, like she was already celebrating. She asked if Ethan was coming. I said yes, and I said he needed to hear truth in front of people. Dahlia smiled and said it would be good for him. I agreed, even though a small part of me knew I was planning to hurt him. My mother Lenora came in after us. She kissed my cheek and looked Ethan up and down like he was an employee who might fail her. She asked if he was still being difficult. I said he was being sensitive. Ethan said hello and offered to pull out her chair. Lenora thanked him, but her tone was flat. Rowan, my brother, arrived last. He looked tired. He asked if this was a normal dinner or one of my storms. I said it was normal, and that he always assumed the worst about me. He sighed and sat down. Ethan asked if Noah was okay with the babysitter. I said Noah was fine, and that Ethan worried too much. Ethan asked if we could keep things light tonight. I said yes, and I meant it like a trick. The table filled with plates and talk. Dahlia told a story about a man at her work who could not handle strong women. She looked at me while she said it. I nodded like I was part of that group. Lenora said women should never beg for attention. She said a good husband would know what his wife needed without being told. Ethan listened and ate slowly. He asked me if I wanted more water. I said no. His calm felt like a wall. It made me want to throw something at it, even if it was only words. Dahlia asked Ethan how things were going at home. Ethan said work was busy and Noah was growing fast. He said it like a simple fact. Dahlia asked if he still went to bed early like an old man. Ethan smiled politely and said he liked mornings. Dahlia laughed. I laughed louder. I told myself I was not cruel. I told myself I was just joking. I told myself Ethan needed to learn that I was not a quiet wife. Lenora asked me if Ethan still ignored my needs. I felt the moment open in front of me. It was like a door. I could walk past it or I could slam it. Ethan looked at me then. He did not look angry. He looked careful, like he was trying to understand where I was going. Rowan asked if we could talk about something else. I said he was always trying to control me. Rowan said he was not controlling me. He said he was trying to stop a fight. I said there was no fight unless Ethan made one. Dahlia leaned closer and asked what I meant by needs. She asked if Ethan was still boring. She said it like a joke, but her eyes were bright. She wanted a story. I felt power rise in me, sharp and clean. I said Ethan could not handle honest feedback. Ethan asked what kind of feedback. I said he was too serious and too careful. He asked if I was talking about our marriage, or just his mood. I said both. He asked why I was doing this here. I said because I was tired of pretending. Then I said it. I said my ex was better in bed. I said it like a verdict, like I was reading a score. I did not describe anything. I did not need to. The room changed anyway. Dahlia made a sound like she was shocked and thrilled at the same time. Lenora stared at Ethan like she was waiting for him to fail. Rowan's face tightened. Ethan stopped chewing. He put down his fork. He asked if I really wanted to say that in front of my family and friends. I said yes, because I was done protecting his ego. I said I was allowed to compare, because he had compared me to no one, and that meant he took me for granted. He asked if I had been with my ex again. I said he was paranoid. I said he always jumped to the worst conclusion. I said a confident man would not feel threatened by a sentence. Rowan asked me what was wrong with me. I asked Rowan why he was attacking me, instead of asking why Ethan could not satisfy his wife. Rowan said this was not about satisfaction. He said it was about respect. I rolled my eyes and said respect followed results, and Ethan had no results. Ethan's face went pale, not with rage but with something like disappointment. That made me nervous. I wanted anger. Anger would prove my point. Disappointment felt like a judgment I could not argue with. Dahlia tried to smooth it over. She said I was just being honest. She said sometimes men needed a wake-up call. Ethan asked Dahlia not to speak for my marriage. Dahlia said she was only supporting her friend. Ethan nodded once, like he heard her, then he looked at me again. He asked if I wanted to leave. I said he could leave if he was so hurt. Lenora said Ethan should not make a scene. Ethan said he was not making a scene. He asked the server for the check and paid quietly. That made me furious, because it looked responsible. On the way to the parking lot, I walked ahead. I wanted Ethan to chase me, to grab my arm, to beg me to stop. He did none of that. He followed at a normal pace. Rowan stayed behind with Lenora. Dahlia whispered that I did great and that I finally said it. I felt sick and proud at the same time. In the car, Ethan asked why I hated him. I said I did not hate him. I said I hated how he made me feel invisible. He asked how I made him feel tonight. I said he was making it about himself again. He asked if I was trying to humiliate him. I said I was trying to save the marriage by forcing truth into it. He drove without speeding. He did not take sharp turns. He did not break any rules. That control felt like an insult, like he was showing me I could not shake him. At home, the lights were off, except the hallway lamp. The house smelled like clean laundry. I heard Noah's quiet breathing through his door, steady and unaware. Ethan asked me to keep my voice low. I said I could not believe he cared about noise now, after he ignored me for years. He said he had not ignored me. He said he had tried, and I kept moving the target. I said he was gaslighting me, even as I knew I was the one twisting words. He walked to the bedroom closet. He opened it and pulled out a duffel bag. He did not throw it. He placed it on the floor. Then he pulled out another bag and set it beside the first. I asked what he was doing. He said he was not going to argue in circles. He said I should take my bags and stay somewhere else for a while. I asked if he was kicking me out. He said he was setting a boundary. I told him he was being dramatic. I told him he was punishing me because he could not handle the truth. He looked at me, then he pointed toward the front door like it was the most normal thing in the world. And I realized he meant it. I did not take the bags that night. I stood there with my arms crossed and tried to look brave. Ethan asked if I wanted him to call my mother. I said I was not a child and I could handle my own life. He said he would not argue in front of Noah. I said he was using Noah like a shield. I slept on the couch for 2 hours, then I left before sunrise. I told myself I was being forced out. I did not say I had pushed him there. I drove to my mother's condo and rang the bell like I was escaping danger. Lenora opened the door and looked at my face. She asked what Ethan did. I said he threw me out like trash. She asked if I had raised my voice. I said Ethan always acted calm to look innocent. She let me in and made tea, like this was a movie and I was the hero. My phone buzzed. Brandon asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was cruel. Brandon said I deserved better than a man who could not take honesty. I held that sentence tight. It felt like a reward. In the morning, Ethan texted and asked if I could confirm pickup time for Noah after school. He also asked where I would be staying, because he wanted a stable handoff plan. I read it 3 times. The message had no anger. That made me more angry than yelling would have. I replied late. I said I was fine, and that he did not need to manage my life. He asked again about pickup, like he did not hear my insult. I told myself he was being cold on purpose. I decided I would show people what cold looked like. At the clinic, Dahlia hugged me and asked if I finally left him. I said Ethan kicked me out. I said he could not handle the truth, and now he wanted to punish me. Tanya heard part of it and looked away fast. I pretended not to notice. Dahlia asked if I was going to post about it. I said I did not want drama, but people needed to understand my side. Dahlia said my side would go viral if I framed it right. She said I should keep it vague and let the comments do the work. I said that was smart. I did not say I liked the idea of strangers cheering for me. At lunch, I posted a photo of my coffee cup and the street outside. I wrote a short line about being brave when someone tries to silence you. I did not name Ethan. I did not need to. Our friends knew, and they started filling in the blanks like they were helping me build a house. Comments came fast. People said I deserved peace. People said Ethan sounded controlling. Someone asked if he was dangerous. My stomach flipped. I knew it was not true, but I let it sit there. I told myself I did not write it, so it was not my fault. Ethan texted later and asked me to stop posting about private things. He said it was not good for Noah. I told him he was trying to control my voice. He said he was trying to protect Noah from gossip at school. I replied that he was using fear to trap me. He did not answer for a while. That silence made me itch. I called him twice. He did not pick up. I told myself he was playing games. I told myself he wanted me to beg. I said I would not beg. After work, I went to the gym lobby, not to work out, but to feel seen. Brandon stood near the smoothie bar like he belonged there. He asked if Ethan apologized yet. I said Ethan acted like I was the problem. Brandon said Ethan sounded insecure. I agreed, because it helped me stay on my side of the story. Brandon asked if I could come to a community fundraiser that weekend. He said some of his clients would be there, and it would be fun. I knew it was risky. I also knew risk made me feel alive. I said yes. That night, Noah stayed with Ethan. Ethan said he would keep Noah's routine the same. He asked if I could drop off Noah's backpack the next morning. I said I would. I told myself he was trying to look like the perfect parent so everyone would pity him. I did not admit that he was simply being a parent. When I went to the house for the backpack, Ethan met me at the door. He did not invite me inside. He asked if I needed anything else from my things. I said I did not need his help. He asked if I could keep my voice low because Noah was eating breakfast. I said he was acting like a guard again. Noah ran to me and hugged my waist. He asked why I did not sleep at home. I said grown-ups sometimes needed space. Ethan watched from the kitchen doorway. He did not correct me. He asked Noah if he finished his cereal. Noah said yes and looked between us like he was counting. In the hallway, I noticed a faint smell of toner, like the printer had been used late. I also noticed the drawer under the key bowl was closed, in a way it usually was not. I told myself Ethan was planning something. I told myself it was revenge. That made me feel important, like I mattered enough to target. The fundraiser was in a community hall, with string lights and loud music. People crowded around tables, with donation jars. I arrived with Dahlia. She asked if I was going to bring Brandon. I said I would not be obvious. Then I saw Brandon near the stage, waving. I told myself I was not doing anything wrong. I told myself Ethan had pushed me away. Dahlia asked if I wanted her to film a quick clip for my story. I said yes, because I looked good under the lights, and I wanted people to see I was fine. A woman near the snacks recognized me. She asked if I was the one whose husband kicked her out for speaking truth. She said it like a headline. I laughed and said something vague about men and ego. People around her laughed too. My cheeks warmed, and I loved it. Later, someone read my post out loud near the raffle table. I heard my own words in a stranger's voice, and it sounded harsher than I remembered. I looked across the room and saw Ethan standing by the exit, holding Noah's small coat over his arm. I froze. I did not know he would come. I told myself he came to spy. I told myself he came to shame me. But he did not walk toward me. He did not shout. He did not grab me. He stood still and watched Noah look at the lights. Noah spotted me and lifted his hand a little, unsure. Ethan asked Noah if he wanted to say hi. Noah nodded and walked a few steps toward me. Ethan followed, slow and calm, like he was escorting a child through traffic. I bent down and hugged Noah. Noah asked if we could go home now. I said soon. Ethan asked if I could keep the talk short because it was late. I said he was bossy. He said he was tired and Noah had school. Dahlia walked up and asked Ethan why he was lurking. Ethan said he was here for Noah and he would leave soon. Dahlia asked if he was embarrassed because I finally told the truth. Ethan looked at her, then looked at me and asked if I was done performing. That word hit me harder than any insult. Performing meant fake. Performing meant I knew what I was doing. I wanted to deny it, but my mouth went dry. I watched Ethan take Noah's hand and guide him back toward the door. People stared. Some people smiled at me like I won. Some people looked away like they did not want to be part of it. When they left, my phone buzzed with new comments. Someone wrote that Ethan seemed scary quiet. Someone else wrote that I should take him for everything. I stared at the screen and felt a cold feeling under my ribs. For the first time, I wondered what Ethan was doing while I was posting. I wondered what calm people did when they stopped talking. I told myself he was bluffing. I told myself I still had control. But I could not stop thinking about that word, performing. The day after the fundraiser, I sat in the school pickup line with my window down and my phone in my hand. Parents stood in small groups and watched the doors like it was a daily show. I watched the line move, and I watched my notifications more. Ethan had sent a message in the morning. He asked if we could keep all communication in writing for a while, so nothing gets confused. He said it would be better for Noah. I read it and felt my face get hot. I replied that he was being dramatic. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. I said he was trying to build a case against me, like I was a criminal. He answered that he was not calling me anything. He said he wanted clarity. He ended with, "Please confirm pickup and drop-off times." I hated that he would not argue. I wanted him to say, "You ruined me," or "I miss you," or "Come home." Instead, he asked for times. Times made me feel replaceable. Noah came out with his backpack bouncing against his shoulders. He looked for me first, then looked past me, like he was checking if Ethan was there too. That small movement made my stomach twist. Noah climbed into the car and asked why Dad did not come yesterday. I said Dad was busy and still upset. Noah asked if Dad was upset because I told the truth. I blinked. I asked who said that. Noah said he heard Dahlia's voice on my phone, and she said Dad could not handle truth. I told Noah adults sometimes say things they do not mean. I said it in a calm voice, but inside I felt a sharp fear. If Noah was hearing this, then other people's kids might be hearing it too. I told myself Ethan was probably telling his own story at school. I decided he was poisoning Noah's mind. That idea made me feel better because it put the blame back on him. At home, Noah asked if I was sleeping at Grandma's forever. I said no, and I said it too fast. He asked if Dad still loved me. I told him yes, because I needed that to be true. I needed it to keep my power. If Ethan did not love me, then I was just a person who broke a home for nothing. Later that evening, I went to the parking garage under my mother's building to get a box of my work supplies from the trunk. The garage lights flickered, and the air smelled like dust and old oil. My phone buzzed again. Ethan sent another message. He asked if I could stop bringing third people into our marriage online. He said Noah's teacher had asked if Noah was okay, because another parent mentioned posts. Ethan wrote that this was already reaching Noah. I stared at the screen and felt something like shame. Then I crushed it and turned it into anger. I typed that he was trying to silence me. I typed that he was making me look bad on purpose. I typed that if people were talking, it was because he acted like a robot and left me alone. He replied with one sentence. He said he was not discussing feelings over text. He said we would keep it to Noah and logistics. I read it and laughed out loud in the empty garage. I said to myself that he was scared. I said he was hiding because he could not face me, but my laugh sounded thin, even to me. The next day at the clinic, I tried to act normal. I walked through the reception area and smiled at patients. I checked the schedule. I corrected a supply order. I did everything like a good manager. But my mind stayed on Ethan's calm messages. Dahlia cornered me near the break room. She asked if Ethan finally cracked. I said he was acting weird and formal. I said he was writing like a lawyer. Dahlia grinned and said that meant he was guilty. She said men only go formal when they are planning something. That sentence landed in my chest like a small stone. Planning something. I remembered the toner smell. I remembered the closed drawer under the key bowl. I remembered how he asked for writing, so nothing gets confused. I told myself he was just trying to scare me. Tanya walked in and asked if I could step into the back office for a second. Her tone was careful, like she was approaching a dog that might bite. I followed her, already annoyed. Tanya said a patient's spouse had called and complained about drama at the clinic. She said the caller mentioned my social media posts. Tanya asked if everything was okay, because it could affect the office reputation. I said Tanya was overreacting. I said my private life was private. I said people love to judge women. Tanya said she was not judging. She said she just needed me to be careful because patients talked. I felt embarrassed and attacked. I told Tanya she should worry about the front desk, not my life. Tanya went quiet and said okay. Then she asked if Ethan was going to show up here because she did not want a scene. That made me feel both angry and satisfied. Angry because my own coworker was treating me like a problem. Satisfied because it meant Ethan looked like the threat, not me. That afternoon I met Brandon at a coffee shop near downtown. I told myself it was just a talk. Brandon asked if things were getting messy. I said Ethan was being cold and strategic. Brandon asked if Ethan had money. I asked why he cared. Brandon said he did not want trouble. I felt a sudden dislike for Brandon. He had loved the fun part, the attention part. Now he wanted the exit door. I said Ethan would not do anything serious. I said Ethan did not have that in him. Brandon nodded, but his eyes drifted to the window like he was already leaving. When I got back to my mother's condo, Lenora was on the phone with my aunt. I heard my name. I heard the word threw her out. I heard Lenora say Ethan was cold and proud. She said I was a good mother and I had carried the marriage. I stood in the hallway and listened, feeling warm. That warmth was my drug. It was proof that my story was working. That night, Noah lay in the guest bed beside me because he said he could not sleep alone. He asked if Dad was mad at him. I said no. He asked if Dad was mad at me. I said Dad was just tired. Noah said Dad had 2 mugs on the counter now, but they were far apart. He said Dad washed one and left the other. Noah asked if that meant we were splitting. I swallowed and said Noah should not worry about mugs. When Noah finally slept, I stared at my phone in the dark. I scrolled through comments again. The words that once felt like support now felt like witnesses. I pictured Ethan at home, quiet, opening folders, making lists, setting alarms. I told myself he was bluffing. Still, I turned my phone face down, like the screen could burn me. I decided I would fix it my way. I told myself Ethan only needed a push back into the role I wanted. I said I could be the bigger person without admitting fault. In my head, that was not lying. That was leadership. I asked Ethan if we could meet at his mother's house, because it would feel family-focused. I knew it would also put him under eyes. I liked eyes. Eyes made people behave. I thought Ethan would soften if his mother watched him. Ethan agreed, but he did not sound relieved. He asked what time I would arrive. He said Noah would be there. I said of course Noah would be there. I said I was not a monster, like he was implying it. He replied that he was not implying anything. He asked me again to confirm the time. At Gail's house, the dining room looked too neat, like a place where crumbs were not allowed. The air smelled like lemon cleaner and soup. Marin was there too, sitting straight with her hands folded. Noah had a coloring book on the table. He looked up when I walked in, and his face opened like a door. Then he glanced at Ethan, like he was checking if it was safe to smile at me. Gail asked how I was doing. I said I was tired and hurt. I said I never thought my own husband would throw me out. Ethan looked at the wall for a second. Then he asked Noah if he wanted to show me his drawing. Noah did it, quick and nervous. I tried to hug Ethan when he stood near the counter. Ethan stepped back, small and polite. He said he preferred space right now. I said he was acting like I was contagious. Gail asked me to keep my voice calm in front of Noah. I said I was calm, and that was another lie. Marin asked what I wanted from this meeting. I said I wanted us to be a family again. I said I wanted Ethan to stop acting like a stranger. Marin asked if I was ready to apologize for humiliating him. I said I had only been honest. I said Ethan had to accept feedback if he wanted a marriage. Ethan asked me not to talk about private things in front of his mother. I said his mother already knew he was sensitive. Gail's lips pressed together. She asked me if I understood what respect meant. I said respect went both ways. I said Ethan did not respect my needs. Gail asked what my needs were. I felt trapped for a second because I could not say the real truth without looking bad. So I did what I always did. I turned the question back on them. I said, my need was safety and emotional support. I said, Ethan froze me out and made me feel alone. I said I had been begging for years. Ethan said he was not going to debate feelings in that room. He said the only priority was Noah's routine and Noah's peace. I said he was using Noah like a shield again. Ethan did not raise his voice. He asked Noah if he wanted more soup. Noah asked if we could all go to the park again like before. I said yes, quickly, because I wanted to look like the soft parent. Ethan said the park could happen on his days, and I could take Noah on my days. He said it like a schedule. That word, schedule, made me snap. I said he was treating our family like a spreadsheet. Ethan looked at me and said that clear plans were safer than mixed messages. Marin nodded once. Gail did not nod, but she did not correct him either. I tried a different tactic. I lowered my voice and said I missed home. I said Noah missed his bed. I said Ethan was being cruel by keeping distance. Ethan said I chose distance when I chose public humiliation. He said he was not punishing me. He was stopping the chaos. Gail asked if I had stopped posting. I said I barely posted. Marin said she saw the fundraiser clip. I said it was not serious. Ethan asked if I understood that people at Noah's school saw it too. I said that was not my fault. I said people should mind their business. Gail's voice turned firm. She said Noah was their business. She said I could be angry at Ethan, but I could not use the child as a prop. I told her I would never use Noah. Even as I said it, I remembered how I used Noah's hugs to look innocent. Ethan checked his phone once, quick. I saw a calendar alert flash for a second. It just said, meeting, personal. He turned the screen down right away. I told myself it was proof he was planning something. That thought gave me a strange comfort. If he was planning, then he still cared. After the meeting, Ethan walked me to the driveway for the handoff. Noah held my fingers, then held Ethan's, like he was afraid one of us would disappear. Ethan asked Noah if he had his jacket. Noah said yes, then asked if we could stop being mad. I said we were not mad. Ethan said they were working on calm. Noah nodded like he understood, but his eyes looked wet. At the car, I asked Ethan if I could come back home. Ethan said not right now. I asked what I needed to do. Ethan said we would keep things stable for Noah first. I said he was avoiding the real talk. He said the real talk did not change the facts. I asked if he was trying to ruin me. He said no. He said he was trying to end the cycle where I said something hurtful, then called it truth, then demanded forgiveness without change. I said he was twisting my words. He said he was keeping a record of what was said and when, because he did not want arguments about memory. I felt my throat tighten. I asked if he was recording me. He said he was not discussing that. He said if I needed to communicate, I should do it in writing and keep it about Noah. That evening, in the clinic parking lot, Dahlia called me. She asked if the meeting went well. I said Ethan was acting like a lawyer. Dahlia said that meant he was scared. She told me to post again, something bold so he would crack. I stood by my car and looked at the dark windows of the clinic. I pictured Tanya's careful face. I pictured Noah's wet eyes. I pictured Ethan's calm mouth forming short sentences like doors closing. For a second, I almost texted Ethan an apology. Not a real one, just a soft one, enough to pull him back. Then pride rose up and blocked my thumbs. Ethan sent one last message that night. He reminded me of the next pickup time. He added one line at the end. He said he would handle things properly from now on. My office lobby smelled like pine cleaner when a woman in a blazer said she had documents for Avice Larkin. Tanya stood beside me, frozen. I asked what this was. The woman said it was a divorce filing with temporary orders effective today. Ethan waited by the elevator, calm, hands empty. I said he was humiliating me. He said he was ending the chaos properly. The pages listed custody days, pickup times, and the home address marked for his possession. I felt my throat close. My phone buzzed with a new comment, and I could not lift my eyes again.